Today we're on the map Customs, and we're going to be looking at lots of high tier loot spawns such as graphics cards, bitcoins, weapon and armor repair kits, things like that. And I'm also going to be showing you guys tons and tons of barrel cache spawns. So without wasting too much time, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, we are going to be starting next to the ZB11 extract. First thing I want to show you is this ground cache right here. If we run down to the opposite corner, there's another ground cache sitting right there. Okay, it's not a 100% spawn, but sometimes in this pile of debris, you'll find a barrel cache. So on the backside of the ZB11 extract, we cross over these pipes. There is a barrel cache spawn right under these. It's not a 100% spawn, of course. So we came from ZB11 down there. There's this van sitting in the road. Next to it is a debris pile. We want to check this debris pile for another barrel cache. Okay, now we are at Warehouse 6. I'll show you guys the map real quick. On the side with the blue wall, there's a barrel cache right there. And then we're going to make our way inside of Warehouse 6. Okay, so now we're in Warehouse 6. We want to go first door on the left here. This mannequin can sometimes spawn a roller on the, I think it's the left wrist right here. And then we'll go into this door on the right side of the hallway. And we're mainly scouring this room for either a weapon or armor repair kit. There is also loose attachments here and there, but mainly just the weapon and armor repair kits. Alright, continuing down this hallway, this couch has a valuable spawn. Alright, we have left that portion of the upstairs, and we're going to go into this section over here. So there's two PC blocks here, but there's actually a chance that you could find a GPU just laying under the desk here. And then next to it, you could find a moonshine here by the green screen. Okay, we are now on the west side of Warehouse 3. There are 3 barrel cache spawns in this little area here. First one's kind of weird. It'll sometimes be lodged in between these barrels right here. And then there is another one that can be found here in this pile of rubble. And then lastly, down here next to these barrels in this spot. They're not 100% spawn, but it's worth checking every once in a while. Okay, now we are physically inside of Warehouse 3. The only spot in here we're looking at is this big metal shelf thing. And sometimes you can find like ammo cases and other valuables just scattered through these shelves here. Okay, we are now at the old gas station. Something I was tipped off on was you could find a red rebel in the floor here. I have not personally found this, but it is a rumor. Alright, we are now at the back side of the old gas station. This little tree here is sometimes referred to as the giving tree. I think it can spawn just about any item in the entire game. So always come and check this out. And then right next to it in this hole, you could find a barrel cache. Last thing about the old gas station here, right before this little cart, you could find a barrel cache. Right next to the extract, there's another barrel cache spawn off to the side here. On the opposite side of the extract here, there's a ground cache next to this big tall tree, and then a barrel cache right here in this bush. And then if we keep following this little fence here, tucked in by this dumpster is another barrel cache. We have now made our way inside of the fortress. This room back here has a whole bunch of crates in it. And there is a armor repair kit spawn on this shelf here. Also here on the first floor, in this little Scav dormitory, whatever you want to call it, if you look between these two little stretcher deals, you can find a valuable spawn. Alright, we just walked from the fortress to this building here. We call this the crack house. Alright, so we have come up to the second floor of the crack house. In this room here, there's going to be 3 intelligence folder spawns. We want to check the shelves and the floor on all 3 of these sides here. Alright, we're kind of right by the repair shop right here. I'll show you on the map again. We want to check for a barrel cache under these pallets here. And then on this stack of tires, I can't remember if it's in this big one or this one down here, but it's one or the other. And then right next to that one, next to this concrete ring, you'll find one more. And then at old construction, there is another weapon or armor repair kit that spawns on top of these bricks. In this big pile of rubble here, there's another barrel cache spawn in between these barrels. Okay, we are now over here by the reserve transit. Next to the dumpster, there's a barrel cache. And then next to this Jeep here, there's another one in this rubble. If we follow the trail along the map border, you can find another barrel cache in this bush here. This one's a little bit harder to find because we're kind of deep in the woods. But if you take a look here, there's power station, and then next to this tree, there's another cache on the ground. If you keep following the map border a little bit farther along, there will be another ground cache right there. If we're taking this little trail up to the power station here, you can sometimes find a barrel cache right there between those rocks. At the power station again here, this bush can spawn a barrel cache. And then also on the other side of the power station, we want to check this bush as well for another barrel cache. So we're on this railroad here. If you look that way, you'll see the railroad to military base extract. On this cliffside here that has graffiti on it, there's going to be 4 caches. I'll show you those real quickly. First one's going to be right here. Next one, you have to do a little bit of climbing, but it's next to this bare tree. Spawns between these 2 rocks here. And then at the base of these power lines, you'll find one next to this concrete barrier here. And then last one spawns next to this tree right there. Okay, I am now on the road that is behind the new gas. This white car here, if you'll pop the trunk, apparently there is a potential GPU spawn here. I have not found it myself, and it can also spawn other valuables. Once we're inside the new gas station, we want to check the shelves for potential valuable spawns. Going into this little hallway, take your first left. On this corner of the table, you could find potentially a graphics card or a LED-X. Okay, now that we're at dorms, I want to apologize if you've been waiting for this portion of the video, but I don't have every single key that I want to show you guys. If that's something you want to see in the future, let me know, and I'll for sure gather up all the keys and make a whole separate dorms guide just by itself. But for today's video, we're going to skip over dorms. Okay, right now we're in Warehouse 17. If you look at the map, I wanted to show you guys this because if you're struggling to find things like blue drills or motors, this is a really good place to check out. There's a lot of other YouTube guides saying to come to this place, and I found a couple here myself. But there's, I think, around 10, maybe a little bit more toolboxes in just this building alone. So definitely come here if you're struggling for like blue drills, motors, wrenches, ratchets, things like that. And other than the obvious spots to look for, a lot of people don't know you can actually jump up here, and there will sometimes be spawns up here as well. All right, guys, we have crossed over the main bridge, and we are currently in Big Red. To be honest, there is not a whole lot going on inside of Big Red itself. There is a chance for a weapon or armor repair kit that spawns on this bottom shelf here. And there's Tarcone's key. If you have Tarcone's key and you happen to be in the area, maybe hit that. You could find a GPU in that room. Other than that, there's not much going on in here. All right, we have made our way to the storage units. I wanted to show you guys this blue car here. Pop the trunk. There is a potential valuable spawn here in the back of this trunk. So after hitting that car, the first set of open doors on the right, we want to look at these shelves for weapon or armor repair kits. Okay, in the middle section, this is storage unit 88. If you're really struggling to find car batteries, they can spawn on this wood pallet right here. In the storage unit behind this blue car, you can find weapon or armor repair kits on this table here. Storage unit 81, we want to check these shelves for valuables. All right, last spawn of the video. This is going to be next to Trailer Park Workers Shack Extract. On the ground right here, there is a valuable spawn. Let me know which map you guys want to see next. But other than that, thanks for watching, and see you next time.